Hello guys, welcome to New Society. I'm Mona Prince and I'm joined by Harneet and Varun. Say hi guys.
Hello.
Hello.
And this was supposed and today we were talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier spoiler discussion, talking about the show and the future ahead. But we were gonna do this live, but I think there's a curse on us doing a live session on Falcon and the Winter Soldier because the last time we tried, I had a power cut, and this time we tried, there was some issues with the internet. So I thought let's just record it offline and we'll post it for you guys. So I'm sorry, it was supposed to be live so we could talk to you guys, but this is what it is. Cannot help it. So we did go live for 5-6 minutes, and we talked about our initial thoughts, but we'll go over them again. And I think Harneet can start his thoughts on the show.
Yeah, so as I said, like this show started with the introduction to MCU's darkness, the dark underbelly of MCU, as we say, and then ended on a note of acceptance and legacy. And that is, what I liked about the shows. Starting from the first episode, I was skeptical when I came onto the sixth episode, the finale. I was skeptical about what they are trying to do, but you know, we'll talk about the each individual characters later on. But I was a little skeptical of the show on
Yeah,
in the first episode
yeah,
about what they are trying to do as a whole. Like, what is this about? Where this will go, and what will be the consequences of the show? Like, WandaVision was a show. We can say that the sixth episode were all the eight episode that WandaVision did was like good. It was good as episodes. Like, you can't watch it as a movie.
yeah, I get it.
WandaVision was the the direction of the movie, the storytelling, and the screenplay of the show was such that you can't watch it in a single go, and it won't make sense as us to as audience to watch it as a movie.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
bringing several storylines and character depths of that show was a different task altogether when we came to this show. Like, there are several characters, there are good things about the characters and bad things about the characters. But as a whole, I think I can watch this as a movie apart instead of a show. This
yeah,
it would make sense for anyone who wants to watch MCU movies and who likes comic books and who likes good, yes, so cinema as a general thing. This
yeah.
thing can be watched as a movie, and that is something that I was too intrigued. Whenever the episode ended, it was not a cliffhanger, but still it would make a cohesive storytelling if
Yeah,
we watch
more
it as
like
a whole.
a film, right?
Yeah, so like Justice's Snyder Cut, if we talk about it, there were several chapters to it, right? So
Yeah,
this, we can say that this is a movie with six chapters to it. Like, that is the best way I can describe it as it is.
yeah,
So we're talking about the characters. Like, every character has something to do in it, and there are some shortcomings in this as well. Maybe due to the pandemic or some storylines were cut or something. But
yeah. We'll come to that. We'll come to
yeah,
that.
but as a whole, it's a pretty good show.
Yes, Varun.
Yeah, I think. Okay, I'll repeat somewhat what I said again. But yeah, I think this was a show about a legacy of Captain America and showing us how important that legacy was to the people he was closest with,
Yeah,
and how these other characters finally learn to move out of uh, his shadow and become someone of their own. And yeah, I think it was also a very relevant show. It talked about relevant themes, like our current world.
yeah.
And yeah, I think
Did you see that interview I sent on the group?
it was very long. I saw some minutes. I'll watch the rest of it later. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think like whatever I saw, it was very good. But yeah, I think yeah, my like we saw the finale on what, Friday. So
yeah.
since then, like, my rating has increased a bit.
Oh, all right. I think mostly it
Yeah.
decreases, right, as time passes on.
Yeah, this
Maybe
show is
now, like in
different in that.
the
Yeah.
longer run,
Yeah,
it might decrease maybe, but I think at least like we don't
I
have
think
anything to
this
compare.
show is like the Winter Soldier movie. The more you watch it, the more you love it.
Yeah. Again, same. I'll repeat myself. Like as Varun said, right? The shadow of Captain America was present throughout the show, and for each character, for John Walker, for Sam Wilson, for Bucky, for Carly, even for Sharon Carter, everyone, the whole world was in his shadow, and really, really liked the writing of it, writing of the show. And one thing I was thinking about, right? I was thinking, when people are saying, "Oh, Sam can be Captain America" and all, I was thinking in terms of power levels, or oh, that means Sam can also pick up the hammer and all of that stuff. But I think as we progress in the show and in the last two episodes, we see that it's actually not about picking the hammer. It's about, as Varun said, right, moving away from that shadow and creating your own legacy as that character. I think that was really, really interesting, and we did put out a video. We did talk about it, and about Sam not becoming Captain America or becoming Captain Falcon. And even the show, brings that point up in the one dialogue. A reporter asks, is it Captain America or Captain Falcon, and all of that. So, like our point, I think, Varun, it still stays the same, or?
I mean, yeah, I think it still says the same, but it is more like, it is not like we were going in this direction, show went in this. It's
Yeah.
more like two parallel
Parallel.
directions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to check out our video on that, do check it out. I'll not go into it again. It's a big rant then. Okay, check it out on top. Wherever.
Before we dive into characters, I just want to point out two things that the show did that were too great to be
I
left
was
out.
not done, Harneet.
Acha. I thought you were moving on to the
No. I was
Yeah.
just gonna say that the show did a really, really good job at like bringing each character and what they think Captain America is and what the legacy means. And at the end, they came out with a new thing instead of following what has already been happened. And really like the finale. You can check out our reactions to all the episodes. It will be on top. It's on the channel. Do check them out. And yes, Harneet, go on.
Yeah, you can remove my previous interruption from the final.
No.
Cut.
No.
Oh, shit.
This is like the Meta Academy ad that is going on in the IPL.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to bring out two things, like the subtle one-liners and dialogues that have been put in the show are too great. Like starting, even in the finale, like the story was about to be wrapped and everything had to be done, and it was a finale, all the things. But there were subtle callbacks to several. Like in the previous episode, there was a line that the kid says to, "You are the Black Falcon."
Yeah.
And in this episode, like when that the public is watching, now Captain America saved all those people, and this is like, this is Captain Falcon, and this is Black Falcon, I tell you. And
Yeah.
then another guy says, no, that's Captain America. Like,
Yeah.
that's a subtle callback and also an acceptance point that public
Yeah.
has come to,
Even
Right.
though even in terms of race, right? Even
Yeah.
if we say that white people don't want, like, not white people, but like certain group in a society who believe that they are superior, like they feel they are superior, and they feel that there's a difference because of the color and race. Whereas with the black community also, I think that's what I just got also was showing, that even the black community, they are only they're also, because they've gone through so much, they also look like these are our people and they are not. Captain America is not ours, so black Captain America, that is, it's ours.
Yeah.
And I think they also have to get evolved. I think that's what the show was trying to say. That, and both, I when I saw first time, I didn't realize. I thought it was a black guy who said Black Captain America, and a white guy. So a white guy said no, it's Captain America. When I rewatched it, I realized, oh no, both are black people. And
Yeah.
that, I remember telling Varun it's cheesy and all, but it's okay. But then I realized after watching it again that it's for the black community also to accept the fact that yes, you can be black, Captain America. You don't have to be just black. You don't have to be one community. You are a part of the country.
Yeah, so
And you
that's
also
what I
accept.
said. Like in the starting, people were shown as very afraid and very divided in the show, and then when this dialogue happens, and it shows like there is some good in people, and the show is trying to put in front the good in the people as well,
Yeah.
so it's not all about the divide in the society, it's also what unites us as a people.
Yeah.
Apart from that, the subtle, the cinematography, the subtle camera angles, and the color coding, the bringing the wide angle shots of Falcon, and then close up the face close ups with Bucky's in the
Yeah.
starting of the show. Though
Yeah.
the direction, the whole direction of the series as a whole is like on another level. Like if you compare it with WandaVision, or if you compare it with the big budget Marvel Avengers Endgame and an Avengers Infinity War, it's like on another level of a drama series.
Yeah.
So like these are the two things that I, as a on a whole level, on a general level, that I felt what that I wanted to mention before we move on to the individual characters.
Yeah. Varun, anything overall you want
One
to say?
like really surprising thing was that uh, this like the finale episode was very, I guess, poorly received or bad received. It's the only episode which is like it is rated like rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. Like
Oh,
people,
really?
yeah,
Really?
people did not like it for some reason. And I
Yeah,
mean,
even I
not for
saw
some
that.
reason. We like, I guess we know some of the reason. Like they really wanted John Walker to be a villain, but
Yeah.
he kind of
Hmm.
I think
he was,
that's
I
one of
mean,
my favorite scenes.
yeah,
And
same
yeah, I
here.
think
Like
reaction you were saying, right?
it's
John Walker, please, please,
yeah,
please.
it's I mean
Yeah.
it's very easy to just make him a villain. He was like already sort of a villain, and
Yeah.
people already hated him. And then like showing that to him added so many more like layers to the character. That like
Yeah,
going forward,
there is a
yeah,
subtle thing to him at the end where he becomes US agent. The point that Varun said, that layers to him, like anyone can manipulate him. There is something so manipulative about him, like he can be manipulated very easily. When that the what's her name, the
Was, right? She doesn't like to be called that, but
yeah.
was something
So,
like that.
so when she's talking about
right.
like we don't need a Captain America, if you look at John Walker closely, like he's following every facial movement of her. Like wherever her head is going, his head is also going. Like it's a subtle movement, but if you look closely, it shows that he's being, he's being manipulated at that point of time also. Like it shows like how there were people telling me like how can he be changing his personalities once he's psycho and he's unhinged, and then he's quoting Abraham Lincoln to terrorist. I'm like this is with him, like it's his whole personality, like he's unhinged and he can shift into different moods depending on the situation. Like he can be manipulated by situations and by people. That is his whole arc. Like he will be manipulated into doing shady missions in the future as well.
Yeah.
That's his whole arc.
And I think that's what his background is, right? And I think remember talking about in the live stream that didn't make it. Uh, that he is like a great soldier because he follows everything which is told to him. I know in that when he was removed and he said, you made me. I did
Yeah.
everything what you said, and he's that he needs to be told what to do and he'll do exactly that without any
Yeah, even
remorse.
even his comrade, the battle star, Lamar
Yeah,
Hoskins.
Lemar.
So when he dies, he loses his moral compass. No, so now no one is there to tell him like this woman is looking shady. Don't go with
Yeah.
her, or don't do this thing. So now he's totally removed from reality. Now he'll do anything the authority asks him to do.
Yeah.
The authority, he needs an authority figure to do something.
Yeah.
That's his whole
and
thing.
and also a lot of people that's what I was talking about, that just the moment he was introduced there were hashtags. We didn't even hear a dialogue from him in episode 1. We just see him, and
Yeah.
from that moment there were hashtags saying not my Captain America. I'm like, are you kidding me? At least give this guy a chance, right? And see, this guy, what a lot of I've heard is that he's kind of a racist in comics, maybe in the beginning. I don't know, Varun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so everyone was
The
expecting
character.
that that he's taking the shield, the black guy is not given the shield and
Yeah,
all of that.
people were
But
expecting that in the show they'll show him as like a Trump supporter sort of person,
oh,
and
Yeah.
that sort
so
of
like basically, that he genuinely knows it and he's doing still taking up the shield from Sam. That is not the case at all. And I think that
no.
reflects in the last episode when he's giving the speech that people hate me because I pick up the shield, and we get a close up of him, and then he
Yeah.
looks at it and he looks down. and then he realizes that okay, he was not, he, according to him, he doesn't know who has given the shield. Who he just shield is given to him, right? He's chosen one, and he wants to do his best. But these guys who he went for help are going against him, so he's fighting them, and he's getting angry that why you are taking. Like, he thinks that they want to take it away from him.
Yeah.
He feels it's his and they are taking it away.
But
and at the end, he realizes that scene, that close up that shows everything, and then the nod both of them give each other at the end. That he understands, oh, this was not what I was thinking. It was nothing I was thinking. It was about him, not me.
Yeah.
And I think that scene shows that, and I love that the way they treated him.
But from a story's point of view, I can relate where people are coming from, because there was no solid villain. There was no black and white in this whole show. People wanted a definite villain in the show, and so that's why they wanted him to be the villain. So because Flag Smashers were not basically villain kind of a group, it was more an anti-hero kind of a group, and there was no villain in this show.
But I think that also exposes us, right, that we need a villain. We need we think in a black white way manner, and the superhero genre show is trying to change that.
Yeah,
I think that's what
I'm saying. Basic audience, general audience wanted a villain. That's why they're complaining that why didn't he
I think
turned up to be a villain.
There's sort of like one of the fault of the show is also that then ultimately it gave us a black and white sort of, not black and white exactly, but they still gave us a proper villain with Carly and all that.
I would not use the word fault. And also I think let's with that segue into the criticism of the show. If you guys have individual criticisms, let me know, and I'll also talk about the public, what people are talking about. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I have 2-3 problems with the show. Mainly, as I said, maybe because of the pandemic or the reshoots or something.
Okay, let's not go there. Just talk about it. See,
so
I think we talked about, with Varun, I talked about also that, see, this is Disney, this is Marvel. This is not an indie show that they didn't have money and they had to put this show out. So if they are putting this show out as it is,
I'm not saying about money. I'm just saying because of the logistics point of view.
No. That's my point is. Let's not talk about that, because
I'll not try to justify anything.
Let's talk about what was wrong instead of because of pandemic. We know the reason. Let's talk about the issue.
I didn't like the whole Flag Smashers arc in this. It was kind of incomplete arc. For me, and there was no definite, motivation for them to do anything. Like, we know there is a whole thing going about the GRC, them putting people in camps and then sending them to their respective countries and all. But there is no definite motive behind their actions. I know they are trying to stop the GRC vote, but how can you stop a vote? They'll try to vote in another city then. What happens if the politicians you are trying to kill are replaced by another politicians? I know you are trying to send your mark, but the motive basically. I'm not saying about the ways they are trying to do things. I'm just talking about the motive. There is no solid motive behind them. That is one thing I didn't like. The other thing I didn't like was the whole super soldiers arc in this movie.
Okay.
The more you put out something, the less value it has. Let me give an example. Like, when we were introduced to super soldiers was the Captain America movie. Like, this is the first and only superhero, the super soldier that you will see. And then we get to Winter Soldier, and it makes sense. Okay, Hydra will try to make their own super soldier. And then we go to Captain America Civil War, where Zemo's whole arc is about killing the remaining Hydra's super soldier who are in cryogenic sleep. It also makes sense because they're not on screen for a long time. They're just killed off screen, So it kind of makes sense. Then you come to this show, and then you realize, there are more super soldiers now. How and why we are explained later on, but there are super soldiers, and it's very easy for anyone to now bring out super soldiers. Although there are 8 super soldiers and there are 12 more wires, but there are super soldiers. And just to explain why there are super soldiers, it takes about half an hour they go to Madripoor and they meet the Nagel character who has brought out the serum, and all that arc goes on and on and on. And I didn't like it because even if they were not super soldiers, it would have made sense. Like you can make White Russell's Captain America not a super soldier and fight these flag smashers. They could have attack or something or anything, but the more you put super soldiers, the less emphasis is had as a word or as a character or as a power. It's like giving Iron Man suits to everyone. Like everybody is an Iron Man now. So
I think
yeah,
what
go
they were
ahead.
trying to do with the super soldiers was basically give Zemo's, so that Zemo's arc could like have a conclusion, so that he could kill them ultimately in the end. Like I
yeah,
think
so
that was one of the reasons.
we have seen super soldiers do amazing things, and in this they have no impact on the storyline. If
Uh,
there was one super soldier, the Isaiah Bradley story, if they had contemplated and restricted the super soldier storyline to that, like American government did some bad things and they tested on black people, and then Isaiah Bradley storyline is one of my favorite arcs in the movie. Like starting from the actor itself to his storyline to his conclusion is like my favorite thing in this.
yeah.
But bringing more and more super soldiers, I know super soldiers are the main thing related to Captain America, so whenever there is a Captain America there will be super soldiers. I kind of understand that, but this is something I didn't like. I know this would not affect the show on a general level, but see, for my personal taste, I didn't like a lot of super soldiers in the show. The last thing I want to say is the Sharon Carter's reveal of her being the power broker. I
Yeah.
hated that because it was too predictable at that point of time, and the reveal was too bland. If you wanted to reveal her as a power broker, there were several good ways you could have gone about it. Because we have listened from different people, like he's a sinister villain, he's very sinister, he has eyes everywhere and all that shit, and then you just introduce Sharon Carter as power broker in one liner, like you are the power broker, but the scene was bland basically.
Yeah.
So these were the three things I hated about the show.
I think what happens with these kind of things, right? That they think that audience will not get to know, and then the reveal will shock them. But it was so
Yeah.
obvious in the beginning that it didn't matter to us.
Hmm.
I think we were just waiting for when they'll confirm it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay,
But
before
I think
yeah,
from the post credits, it also felt like she is just like standing in for the real power broker. Like there's someone more, like someone behind her whom she was talking to in the phone. So
hmm.
I think that's also there. But yeah, overall, I think that even I didn't like.
She might have been a Skrull this whole time in the
Arey,
Yeah,
Madripoor
that's
series.
also there.
I know some guys and they were like, the show is already so much going on, don't add skulls to it.
This is a theory. See, we did a lot of theory making in WandaVision, and I tried to refrain myself from doing any kind of theory guessing in this show. And it helped me a lot to grab the show as it is. Like
Yeah.
on the level the show it is, it helped me so much. I remained so calm while watching the show, and I could process the show very easily. So
Yeah.
when the show is now over, now we can have some theories. That's my take on that.
I'm still okay. Sharon, first I'll take the Sharon Carter one. Again, the reveal. We knew the reveal and all of that. It didn't. I think the weakest post credit scene. It didn't excite me for anything at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Didn't care much.
I didn't even know what property it's leading to. Like that, it was.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
didn't.
yeah.
I didn't care. I think the episode was way better, and it ended very well. Coming to the second issue with the, I'll come to Flag Smashers later. There's more to it. Coming to the second issue of the Super Soldiers, I understand your point, but I disagree because on my channel also I talk about how to tell if the script is and the story is good. Try to eliminate some part of it, and if it still makes the film, it doesn't change anything, then that means that extra part was not needed. Whereas here, I think that Super Soldier was very important on several occasions. First of all, it all connected to Isaiah Bradley, that they used his serum, they used his blood and brought the serum out. I do believe the whole Madripur, whatever that is, was very weak. I think the only shiner thing about that arc was Zemo, but the whole
Yeah.
going to that city and then just talking about again and again,
Hmm.
I
It
didn't
was
find
very
it that
much
interesting. I didn't,
introduction of that place.
yeah, introduction,
Yeah.
but I didn't care. Like, why is this city special? Okay, I don't know why. We
I
just
mean, they
Mudri
don't want
Pool's
you to
big and
care.
big and
They just want that maybe in future shows or
yeah.
series
So
wherever
it's
they
kind of
go.
a
So
setup,
yeah,
but I don't care
that's
honestly.
yeah.
So it does, and I think that part was definitely weak. But there'd been a guy, who did create a super serum which is way better. And then Zemo comes in the picture. And I think if what Harneet is saying, right, if they would have kept the serum and there's still serum out there, I would have liked that. But I like that they destroyed the serum and they killed the person who creates it. So now there's no more super serum. Also, one more thing it adds to is that the whole point of will you take the serum or not. I think with John
Yeah.
Walker as well as with our guy Sam Wilson, I think that makes it more interesting that he is the guy without serum, and John Walker took the serum and still he's not that Captain America. Because if he hadn't taken the serum, there always be the mind, oh, he doesn't have the power, he doesn't match them. But now he has the serum, he can match them with the power. Can he still be that good? He cannot, and that's what the show was trying to say. So I feel,
Yeah.
that Super Soldier was needed, and I like that. I like the fact. Coming to the point that how the coming to Flag Smashers from there, how it was handled was not the best. Also, coming to Flag Smashers now, I feel the concept of Flag Smashers was amazing.
Yeah.
Thematically also it worked very well. That 5 years people live together, now suddenly they are asked to leave because everyone is back. And
Yeah.
okay. So just a cool thing, or I don't know what cool thing, whatever you want to call it. So in the dialogue, right, Sam says in the finale that the first time we all are, going to the same thing. And the senator says that 5 year people came out of 5 years. Now they see someone else in their house. Should they? What should should they be homeless? And so I don't know if you have heard about this. Shashi Tharoor's speech about should does Britain
Yeah.
owe India
Reparations. Yeah, yeah,
reparations.
yeah,
Yeah.
In
yeah.
that he said, that the password of that place where the meeting was held is so when slavery was abolished, money reparations were given not to the slaves but to the owners of the slaves,
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
are
Yeah.
leaving those slaves, so they got money. And
Yeah.
the person they celebrate and has Wi-Fi password in that place,
His
his
name.
family also took
Yeah.
that money and
Yeah.
benefited from it, that they let the slaves go, so they were given money from the government.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that I could, I kind of related to it with this, that now that 5 years later families have come back, so they will stay, and the people who were 5 years struggling to live, they have to leave now, go back home. It's a kind of a similar thing I felt, and that was kind of interesting. I did went off board, but yeah, Flag Smasher is really interesting idea concept, that and I think we have talked about so much time that I want to know more stories of the 5 years. That's so intriguing, and it's so much potential to tell stories to that. And I love the fact
Yeah.
what we saw. But again, now there was a whole subplot about the vaccine and
Mama
the
Donya.
pandemic and all of that. So they have cut that out all. Varun, tell me if I'm right. Did they do reshoots post pandemic?
Yeah. There was reshoot.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
The finale, the interaction between the Flag Smashers and the finale is a whole reshoot that they've done.
yeah, it feels a lot of places in the show with Flag Smashers. I can tell this was shot before, and this is a later part, because this feels very different. Suddenly they are made back. So I definitely feel that. And I read on Twitter, we talked about it before also with Varun, that the writers, because Flag Smashers become so sympathetic, they'll become kind of a hero and people will like them. And they don't want that. They want them to support the hero, so they make the villains bad, so we have a target to criticize and want our and support our heroes. And I think that's what they did, because in some way, this is a metaphor for immigrants and refugees, the problem in the world about that. So I think yeah, Flag Smashers did. I think the weakest part was Flag Smasher in the show for me,
Yeah.
easily. They could have been. I don't know, man. Like again, as I said, right? We know it's COVID. They did change the story because it was very similar to COVID, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Hmm.
Why would you do
So,
that?
in the comics, like Flag Smasher is actually one character. Like there's one character called Flag Smasher, and he's male. His name is Carl Morgenthau. And
Okay.
over here they changed it to, Carly Morgenthau, and it became a whole group, not just one people. So I actually wonder what would it have been like. Maybe like they could have kept it Carly only one person, but only one person who has this, who has the goal of bringing these people together and is trying like she doesn't have a group or something, but just only one character. I don't know if maybe it could have been better or maybe not,
I
but
love that
yeah.
scene where they go and get the serum and she is talking about, and he's like, I used to
Hmm.
look up to Captain America, and
Yeah.
now I
Yeah.
met you, and I felt yes, you are the one. So basically,
Yeah.
she's the leader to them in the 5 years. She was the one, she's the
Hmm.
Captain America, and I think
Captain
that
America, yeah.
Like
parallel was
Sam
amazing.
iterates the same thing in the finale, like when he's talking to the senator.
Yeah,
He says that like why are people joining in? Like why millions of people around the world are against you, and with her on this thing, you should recognize that.
yeah,
Like it's not like all the million of people following her are bad. They are following her because she believes in something that they also believe in, and it's the right thing, and you are doing the wrong thing. He confronts him about that. So
yeah,
at that moment it does make sense. Like, yeah, yes, she has millions of followers, and why does she has been, not because she is killing people or she is disrupting the economy, that's why she has followers. The belief system that they have about one world and one people, that's
yeah,
why that she has followers.
yeah. And I think that one world, one people is something, like hippies believe in. Like I know
Yeah.
people who are like, like why there are borders, why cannot we go
Yeah. Yeah.
anywhere? It's a planet. Why are we not free? And
Hmm.
it's kind of very like again, such a potential, like such a weird thing to exist, and you can explore that in your
Hmm.
world. I love that fact.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Anything else? What was the first point? Flag smashers, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah.
I
And coming to
think
critics,
also
yeah,
like yeah, there were points like the conversation between Carly and that guy about how he loved Captain America, and like there were certain points where there was good writing, but overall it just felt like, yeah, I think like there I could have understood why they are turning them into villain and they start killing and all that, but just suddenly at the end of that one episode, they bomb blast and they kill up a lot of people. I feel
yeah,
like there should have been a bit more build up to it,
See,
and it would
that's
still have been
that
fun.
was my point at the starting. Like their actions are justified. What they're doing is according to their plan and according to what they want to achieve.
Hmm.
But at the starting, I just needed the motivation for them. Like there was something, like you said, the Mama Donia storyline was cut out, and that was going to be the motivation for Carly for doing this thing,
Yeah,
not just bringing all the people together and the 5 year
I
blip
think,
I
thing.
think
yeah.
when we see her
There
die
was,
and a funeral, like
yeah.
we don't care who is she.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
It
So
doesn't
there
matter.
was a personal touch in her story as well. Like, why is she doing this?
Yeah,
I think if
She,
it would have been something like she could have gotten the medicine or vaccine or something, but she did not get because GRC people held it away from her, and because of that, she and many other died.
see,
So then, like, and that makes
anything,
a reason that she would
yeah,
kill for that, you know.
anything apart from their actions. Like, see, what they were doing in the show was right. My problem was the behind their mentality and their motivation. That was not explored. There was time to explore that also. That was my thing with this their arc basically.
I love that dialogue. Sam says in his speech that you have the same power as a mad god
Yeah,
and a misguided
and a
teenager. I think
misguided
that
teenager.
was
Yeah,
really really good. Really like that one.
I mean, multiple layers to it. You can compare it with someone like Thanos. You can compare
They
it
changed the
to the
dialogue in
government
Hindi.
itself.
They did change it.
Hmm.
I didn't like that fact, but yeah. Anyways,
What was it?
it was, I think,
I
uh,
haven't heard
you
one.
have this power. Now you have to decide what you will do. They didn't use that same
Acha.
wordings.
Okay. They
So
won't call gods
There are
mad.
there are several, when you rewatch the show, there are several one-liners and small dialogues that now make sense when you have watched the show as a whole.
yeah,
Like there is at the end of the show when Sam goes to visit uh, Isaiah Bradley, and he says like, "Are you the Black Falcon?" And he says he's not Falcon anymore, but he's still black.
yeah,
Like because when you compare this line with the previous line, like no self-respecting black man would take the shield.
yeah.
So now he acknowledges like he has taken the shield,
He
but
is Captain America, but
he
he is still
but
black.
he's
He's
still
not.
black.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he still respects him. Basically, that's the whole circle of those two dialogues as a whole.
yeah.
Hmm. Also,
That's
like I think I had told you, right? You know that guy Battlestar. He had told him that in the heat of battle you will make the right decision, and then like in the
yeah.
final, in that battle he does make the
Make the
right
right
decision.
decision. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like pretty good show. Compared to WandaVision, I definitely feel. I think I remember ranted for half an hour why WandaVision is bad, and I
Yeah.
think definitely a better show for me. This was way better.
Yeah.
Still with issues due to
Hmm.
pandemic, whatever it is the final product we got, and I still have issues with it.
I
But
love the
overall,
fact. I love the fact when see I was casually watching the first time when I watched the episode. I watch is as a general viewer, general audience. Like, this is a show. I'm watching it. I don't absorb all the dialogues and all the mentalities. So when I was watching the show and suddenly it ended and the title card came as Captain America and the Winter Soldier,
yeah,
like there was literally goosebumps at that point of time. Like, yes, finally, it's not just about picking up the shield and taking up the suit.
yeah,
It's about being your own Captain America. It's not about being Steve Rogers.
yeah.
It's about being the best Captain America you can be. So like, and it also makes you wonder like, will there be a second season, and will it be called the Captain America and the Winter Soldier, like
I don't
what
think
it
so.
is going to be?
I think
I
now we are
think
getting
we
a
are
Captain
getting a
America
movie.
4. We'll
So
talk about later.
yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Before that, let's. The suit, man. I love the suit. I
Yeah.
think throughout the show, I love how they've used Falcon with his wings. I
Hmm.
think we have. This is the
Hmm.
best we have seen. Even in the movies, we didn't see that
Yeah.
much of him using that. And now with the shield, I think the whole scene with him was amazing. The
Yeah.
way he's using the shield and the way it wraps around him and all
Hmm.
of that. That was amazing. I loved it. So that was
Yeah.
that was really interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah. So I want to talk about a Falcon a bit more if we want to, if we can, talk about individual characters
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
If I
Go
have
ahead.
your
Go
permission.
ahead. Arey, my permission. You need my permission. It's not live. We can talk as much as we want.
Acha. So, see, starting with like what I said before, like I was skeptical in the first episode. I'll now explain why, and then we can elaborate on Sam's storyline, and you can, cut me if you don't agree with me, because there are some things that people will agree and disagree with both the storylines of Sam and Bucky and their chemistry altogether. So, like when Avengers Endgame ended, and when he got the shield, like when Captain America gives him the shield, there is a proud feeling on his face, Sam, when he got that shield from Captain
Hmm.
America. And when the show started, I suddenly felt like this might be going in the wrong direction. Like now, Falcon is realizing that he doesn't need the shield, or he doesn't deserve the shield somehow, just because he's black, and I think that might undercut the whole scene of Avengers Endgame. Like you might consider it as a fan gift, like a gift to the fans just for the sake of it. But as the show progressed, we understood the mentality behind Sam's giving back the shield to the museum, like why he considered himself to be lower than Steve Rogers' Captain America, and his whole journey of becoming his own Captain America is like, you find certain aspects of that story to be related to yourself as well. You know, sometimes you doubt yourself, and you might be explaining to someone else like you should accept your legacy and you should accept who you are. You should try your best, but on the inside, you are not that perfect yourself.
Yeah.
है ना? So when there was a scene with the boat when he's talking to his sister about his family's legacy, like
Yeah.
his sister wants to sell the boat and he's saying no, you should embrace your legacy, like this boat is your
Yeah.
family's legacy. And then she says like, and then we realized at that point of time like the end for somebody we want to shout at Sam and Sam that shield is your legacy and you should embrace that as well. If you're telling someone else to embrace their legacy,
Yeah.
you should do it yourself.
Nice,
You know,
man. I didn't think like that. Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, so starting from Sam's, like he's very free when he gives the shield back to government and he's on his missions and doing everything. But when he meets Bucky and Bucky is so angry at him, why he has given the shield back to the government, and we later on find out why he's so angry. It's not just like it as a symbolic gesture, like Steve gave it to you and you gave it back, and he's now angry. There is a whole reason behind it, and then we suddenly dive into the racial and differentiation of people, you know, along the country and along the borders and all those things. And then we find out like there is a reason for him doing that. He was proud to be presented that shield at that moment, but then when he came into the real world, now he realizes that he might not be the right candidate given the circumstances going around the world, you know. And his end to the story, like he embracing the Captain America name, like you can feel the contrast between John Walker saying I am Captain America and he saying I am Captain America when he lands with the wings and shield for the first time. Like, who
Yeah.
are you? And he said I'm Captain America, and there is a quick joke like I thought Captain America was on the moon. You know,
Yeah.
that moment was so satisfying, and I could suddenly feel the contrast between John Walker's I am Captain America and Sam Wilson's I am Captain America at that point of time. Like the super soldier doesn't make you the Captain America.
Yeah.
The shield doesn't make you Captain America. The suit doesn't make you Captain America. Even the government doesn't make you Captain America. You yourself accepting the legacy of Captain America makes you Captain America. So
Yeah.
that's my whole take on Sam Wilson's story.
Yeah, man. Like I think I remember when that scene came, right? That I think the Varun we were together, right, for Endgame, and
Yeah.
I was like, that suddenly both of them standing, and we were guessing who would go there, who would get the shield. We see the shields there in the bag, and then Bucky says to Sam, "Go," and like, oh, Sam is getting it, everyone excited, and then he takes up the shield and he asks him, right, how does it feel? And he
Yeah,
says, doesn't feel mine.
Like it belongs to someone
it
else.
belongs
Yeah,
to someone else.
and that I was shocked. Wait, what did he say? Like we were expecting, oh, he'll take it, thank you, and I'll carry on the legacy and like all of that stuff. And suddenly you hear that no, it doesn't belong to me. And I'm like, oh yes, he's thinking this is not me. I'm Falcon. This is not me. I cannot carry on. This is yours. It can never be mine.
Yeah.
And then you see the show, and then you realize what he was trying to say.
Mhm.
It's not just they did something. Okay, that scene was there. Okay, now we are telling the story. Like how well they do each. If the scene is in canon, if it's in the Marvel, it exists in Marvel cinematic universe. There's a reason, and they'll explore that reason. It's not just like that they have done anything. And
Yeah.
I think Canadian lad, his videos of 0.25 XP, and he noticed all these details. I think that makes
Yeah.
me appreciate Marvel more with all little details and Easter eggs and all of that. Like how do they plan all this? Like what comes first? The narrative come first, or these details come first? Like who thought, right? In Age of Ultron, you cut Chris Evans from saying Avengers assemble, right?
Yeah,
Who knew?
just to build up the excitement more for Avengers Endgame.
No, that's the point, right? They didn't know that. They didn't know they'll
Yeah.
do Endgame and this will happen, right? Who knew? But they did
No, I
that,
think
right?
I
And they
think
build up
when
on it.
Avengers 2 came out, like Age of Ultron came out, they knew that they were going to do like
No,
3
they
and 4.
knew, but
See, Kevin
dude,
Feige
see,
knew everything. Like
no, man.
he said in interview.
Literally,
he
if you
really,
if you hear
See,
his
he-
interview, right? If you hear his interview,
Yeah.
he doesn't say it. See, they were still in the writing phase. The script changed so many times. I think even when Civil War came, then they started writing the script.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
detail, right, of how much build up that scene would have when Captain America will finally
Yeah,
say
yeah,
with the Thor's hammer. That
yeah.
also happened in Age of Ultron. See, that's what I'm saying. They plant these things, and
Yeah.
we later realize, oh my god, see, if they hadn't planted that, would it make sense in Endgame? Him getting the hammer, would it be that excited? No.
Hmm.
We always thought about that. Oh, can he pick the hammer? There was a whole joke about it. We know about it. People discuss about it. Yes, in the comics. I mean, just
Yeah.
assemble big dialogue in the comics.
Yeah.
They literally get to see and they cut it. They decide to cut it.
Yeah.
Let's not
There,
include
there
it.
is a there is a great blooper reel for that as well.
Yeah. And also in that, one of the behind the
Yeah.
scenes, there's like Captain Marvel standing there.
Yeah.
Like they thought of adding, see, that's what filmmaking is such a collaborative, and it keeps evolving. It doesn't like,
Yeah.
oh, you decide we are making a film and that happened. No, it always keeps evolving. And these are the, decisions they made, people would have loved to hear Avengers assemble, right? In Age of Ultron. Right? We were we were like, oh, why would you do that? That would tease us. Even
Yeah.
for the basically for the comic book fans, normal
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
even I didn't know that he would say assemble. I thought Avengers, and I'm like, yeah, great. Then later I realized, oh, it's the whole dialogue, and I didn't know that. So that all these things, they all
Yeah.
lead up to a bigger thing, and we don't realize it. And I think that's the genius
Planting
Marvel has done.
the
Yeah.
like
And they don't
planting the
even they
seeds
don't
and
plant it thinking, oh no, we'll do something
yeah.
good. But
It's
their
more like they
conviction,
always revisit the
yeah,
previous
and their
scripts and
conviction,
previous.
right, about it.
Mhm.
That see, we are doing
Yeah.
this not just for the sake of it. I think this is the right for Sam Wilson to say this dialogue when he gets the shield. Okay, now we are doing a show and we'll explore that. Why did it say? It's not that,
Yeah.
oh, it's not like Fox Universe. In the end, they Rays of Future Past, the show, what's her name, man? What that?
Magneto.
No, Magneto,
Magneto.
man. The ending
Professor.
scene where Mephisto, what's her name, man? Blue girl. Blue
Mystique.
girl. Mystique, takes the body from the ocean of Wolverine's body, and then we
Yeah.
see her eyes
They
change,
didn't
and
pay off. Yeah.
yeah, and then like what did that, right? And then there was no follow up to it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like if Marvel is doing something, they think about it and they just don't do
Yeah.
it. I don't think there's anything in the MCU where they just
Yeah.
did something and never called it
No.
or never
I
followed
think
it up.
yeah, even now they are doing, they officially announced Captain America 4. I'm pretty sure they'll revisit this show, they'll revisit all the previous movies, like the scripts and all that, and then they would carry on some things from there. Like I think that's a thing that they are very good at. So yeah.
Yeah. Before again going
See,
to
adding to this point, adding to
Yeah.
Nona's point, like this show was something. If you look at this show from afar as just a show, it also represents the consequences of the Phase 3 ending for us.
Yeah.
We always thought like there are like talking about Fox Universe and all other. There are no repercussions or consequences for a big battle or anything that involves a whole universe.
Dude, they had that apocalypse movie.
Yeah, they totally forget about like these people literally destroyed half of the world.
Every movie, Magneto goes bad, kills a lot of people, and then
Yeah.
he's like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, and I love
And
the
then
fact
again
that
becomes
this. Yeah, see, I love the fact that this show, though being grounded, still is a repercussion of all the things happened after Snap and during
Yeah.
the blip.
Yeah.
We always thought like we might get some bits or the other of that life of the people during that time, but getting a whole show and building on that thought, not just about the lives of the people, but
Yeah.
what does it represent to the world now. It's
Yeah.
not just what people did or what Captain America did or what Falcon did. It's all about building from that consequence. Like it's about building from a thought. Like it's a thought process, but you build a show out of it, and
Yeah.
it works. Like it totally works. And if you do good writing with a good concept, this is the outcome. Like you can like bewilder people out of their minds. Like this is that kind of a show.
Yeah, I think it's. I think we talked about the relatability, more for the American world and country.
Yeah.
I remember a lot
Yeah.
of people talking about, John Walker killing that guy and people recording it
Mm.
to what happens in America with police brutality and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. Uh,
Hmm.
so, uh, okay, moving on to Bucky. There is a criticism that he was underserved in the show. Like it was more about
Hmm.
Falcon and less about him, and even his payoffs, even the fight sequences. His fight sequences are very different. He doesn't get
I
that big
mean, yeah,
superhero
he's
thing,
not
and
assassin anymore. I
yeah,
think
but
that.
the criticism is that like I have the answer for to what I'm asking you, but I want to know your thoughts. I already have an answer to it. My point is that the criticism is that he didn't get the big hero action sequence the way he like Falcon first saves the helicopter and all of that. Then he saves the truck also. Like and
Hmm.
even there are more things with him going on with the shield and everything and the black community,
Yeah.
whereas with Bucky, just about
Yeah.
him dealing with who he is and all of that. So,
I, I, I'll,
what's your take on it?
I have two justifications for it. Like starting, see, I'll come to the justification of that, but I'll start with what I liked about Buggy, stating that he is the favorite part of this show for me. Like people are saying that he was undersold or anything. I don't actually agree with that. He was the best part about the show. Like Falcon becoming Captain America is the whole basis for the show, but still Bucky was the best character. The best acting in the show was done by him, and he as a character was like people saying that he was undersold, the action was undersold, he didn't have a lot to fight. Like this was the main point why he didn't fight a lot. Like there were two reasons. First, when he was talking to Carly about, like she said, you don't know what it's like to fight for something big than yourself,
Yeah,
and he
That was
says
such
like,
a
kid, you don't
line.
have an idea. I have always fought for something bigger than myself for the last 90 years, and I have always failed. Like he failed as Captain America's sidekick or his companion in the World War. He died at that point of time, and he failed. And
Hmm.
then he fought for saving the universe, and he failed again. So he knows what it's like to fight, and saying that he didn't fight or he didn't have a lot of fight, it's because he don't want to fight. Basically, he has been fighting for one side or the other for the last 90 years. All he knows and all he has done is fighting. He is getting
yeah,
night terrors for all the things he has done his whole life, you know
Hmm.
yeah,
and then saying that his action was like not like the Winter Soldier, or he's now not fighting. Like there is a dialogue. Like if Sam asks, "Why didn't you use the metal hand?" and he says that I don't really think for it. Suddenly, I am a right-handed person, and I am like, I was so shell-shocked at that point of time. Like if you see the Winter Soldier movie, he's using his left hand
yeah.
altogether. He's
I
not
think
using his right hand.
I think I saw it on Instagram. Someone has posted that whenever he was even in the show, when we see him as Winter Soldier, he
Hmm.
uses the gun from his the
Yeah,
metal hand,
that
and
was the point I was coming to. See, like
whereas
in
yeah,
the Winter Soldier movie, he's using his metal hand for everything, for catching the
yeah,
shield from Captain America, from using his knife, or for the landing. If you compare the landing in this movie, in the show and in the movie, he lands with his metal arm unknowingly. Like subconsciously, he's using his metal hand in the Winter Soldier movie. As opposed to in this, he's like a normal person now. He's trying to be
yeah,
normal. He doesn't think of his arm as a weapon now. Like
yeah,
he is now a normal soldier. He's a sergeant. He'll always be a soldier, but he's now not the Winter Soldier. So
yeah,
the action is now undercut because he doesn't fight like an assassin, as Varun said. So he's not
Yeah.
an assassin right now. He's trying to be more of a civilian. He has got his pardon and all those things, and he has got the diary to make his amends that he has
yeah,
got. You know,
yeah,
when we are introduced to him in the first episode, he's like waking out of a night terror in the middle of the night, sleeping on the ground, not on a bed.
Hmm.
It all comes back to the Winter Soldier movie when there's a dialogue between Falcon and the Captain America, like, you can't, your bed seems like a mushroom that you will sink to the bottom of it. It's your bed is too soft, you know
yeah,
so that kind of callbacks, like it relates to all the veterans of the war. Like everybody feels very uncomfortable when they come, the PTSD, they have night terrors and all, they can't sleep and all those, they have to go to
yeah,
therapy and all those things. And
Hmm.
when you are in the field, you are a soldier, you can kill anybody and do anything in the heat of the war. But when you come back, you will suffer from PTSD and you will not be your 100% when you are in the society. You're back in the society, and that's his whole thing. Like he recovered from Hydra's conditioning of his mind, and that scene was like the best scene in the whole series. Like the Io and him in the Wakanda, and she's trying to, she's testing that if he has been reconditioned.
Oh man, I think for me that is the best Sebastian Stan Winter Soldier
Yeah,
scene in the whole
see,
MCU.
yeah. So
He
that
just
acting,
nailed
that
it.
acting was too good, and it's not just about him crying and now thinking that like, yeah, I am now reconditioned, I am okay. It's also about like the guilt will always be with him. Like he has done all those things, he remembers all of them, but
Yeah,
now he is now a civilian. He has to deal with it like a normal person. He can't go back to his Hydra conditioning and forget all about it. Those all the kills he have done will stay with him, and
Yeah.
the show is not trying to undercut the action. He is trying to undercut the action himself.
Yeah.
He is
yeah,
trying to stay away from the fight as far as possible. If not for the flag smashers, he would have stayed away from that. If not for Falcon giving away the shield, he would have stayed in his apartment, and
yeah,
that would have affected him badly as well. Like there is a certain point in the movie, like you have that he said it, making amends is not all you have to do. You can't just say sorry for all the things you have done. You have to make amends. It's not like you'll say
yeah.
I am not a winter soldier now, I am sorry. You got to do the work, he
Acceptance,
said.
yeah,
Yeah, so
acceptance.
his whole arc is about acceptance and moving forward. Like the peace on his face in the last scene when
Yeah,
he comes, when there is a party, like his whole face is now very peaceful, like he's smiling and all. Like his
Yeah.
arc was complete with the help of Falcon. When Falcon is talking to the senator, he feels so proud of Falcon
yeah.
at that point of time.
I think that
You know,
dialogue comes back, right? If Steve was wrong about you,
yeah,
that means he
yeah.
was wrong about me.
So that is
And
the
at
anger
that
I was
point,
talking about.
Steve was not right about Sam, so he's right
Both.
about him
Yeah.
also.
So that was the anger I was talking about previously. Why is he angry that Sam has given the shield? It's
Yeah,
not just a symbolic gesture like Steve gave him the shield, he returned it. So it is a disrespectful thing. It's not about the disrespect. It's about doubting yourself. Like if your friend was wrong about someone else, he might be wrong about you as well.
yeah.
And Captain America being the moral compass for Bucky, now he's gone. Captain America is the one who brought him into the world,
Yeah,
brought him back to the world.
it's like he
You know?
planned something with him, right? With
Yeah.
Steve, and then Steve left, right? So he's alone. So he's just
Yeah.
thinking now, oh, the plan works. The plan has to work. And
Yeah.
now if the plan, oh, he gave the shield. What now? Now what? Now, and he's
Now
lost
what?
again. So I think that's a
Like
good
the
point.
person who brings you back into the world and gives you your pardon and is now gone, and you are left all alone.
Yeah,
He wants a Captain America in the world, so he can look up to the Captain America also. It's not like the Steve was not just his friend; he was also his companion and his moral compass, as I said,
Family.
family also. And now there is no Captain America, and now he's like, who am I gonna talk to or who am I gonna look up to? Now Sam is gone,
and also Captain America was his only, like
anchor to the world.
Anchor, also someone who understands him and same era. They went through the
Yeah,
same things basically, like
yeah.
seven. They are both 100 years old. So he
So now
lost
when he
someone close
realizes
to
that
him.
there is no Captain America and Sam has given back the shield, and now he starts to doubt himself. He can't accept the way he is now. And then he goes to Sam and they have the fight and then they have the therapy scene. And then he realizes, Sam also realizes that giving up the shield is not just about himself. There are certain people related to him as well. He has to take care of all the people related
Not
to the
even
shield.
certain people, like the whole world in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bucky's whole acceptance of himself as moving on and telling Yuri that he killed his son, all that arc was like amazing. Like this is he's the favorite actor in this show for me as far as it goes. Like
Yeah, I think like
Bucky's
in the first episode,
see,
or
even if
sorry,
we don't
first.
see Bucky in the future, I am okay with it.
Hmm.
For me, his story is done. You know?
Okay, Varun.
Yeah, I was saying like, in the first episode he's hiding his arm to, in the final episode he's
Yeah.
like letting kids play with it. Like that was it is, yeah, it shows, how much growth has happened, and how much like he has accepted himself, and yeah, for him it is, Winter Soldier necessarily doesn't always, it doesn't need to mean the assassin character. It can also be something that he makes on his own, and he that's why he rescues those people in the end, and they
And he
thank for him
first
like
time,
that.
first time he hears
Yeah,
that. Yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. So
Even the
I
even the
think,
FBI
yeah.
agent, the people who are there, the soldiers who have surrounded the building when the episode starts,
Yeah, he says, they says
before
Sergeant
is
Barnes.
Sergeant
Yeah,
Barnes. Yes, and
yeah,
the respect he gets from those people is something he deserves.
yeah.
I
I
think
think,
because he's a World War II like soldier. I think that explains a lot of the things why he and Falcon and all are like just let everywhere. They can just walk into everywhere because like
yeah.
they have that
So
status to that.
basically, he got a pardon from the president. So that's the line by
Hmm.
Sam.
Hmm.
Also,
Hmm.
like everyone knows, like what happened with Thanos, who fought with him, and even I
Hmm.
think we saw it in
But people don't know
Fa-
about time travel and all
Spider-Man
that.
Far From Home.
I don't know.
People
I don't know
in
how much they know. We don't know about it. But in
No,
Far From
yeah,
Home,
in the first episode, if you see that, like, they are the Rhodey and Falcon, and like
yeah,
at that point, it was Falcon. They were in the museum, so there's that whole like image, like there's a thing written about Thanos, the Mad Titan, and if you read that, like, of course, people will pause and read that. I did that. So if you read that, it shows that it just says somehow the Avengers made a plan and fought back Thanos and defeated him. That's all that they have written. So normal people don't know about time travel and all that. They just know
yeah,
that in the like in that fight, Black Widow died, and Steve Rogers also disappeared and all that, and Iron Man died mainly. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, man. As the moment we come to end of one topic, there's so much more I'm thinking about the future, but I'm like, no, no, let's talk about the show first. Next time to talk about Zemo. I think one of my favorite characters easily.
Yeah.
He was my favorite from Silver, but in this show, I know a lot of people just hate him, but I just love him, and I know a lot of
Yeah.
criticism about the. I think it's all about the expectation people had with the show. That
Hmm.
like people are expect. I remember Varun, you were talking about the trailer, and we're like not that excited for the show and all after WandaVision ended. Remember, and we're like,
Yeah.
okay, WandaVision was fun, and we went very excited for it. But Falcon and the Soldier looks like a okay show, but
I
it turned
remember
out to
when
be the best
Nona,
show.
I remember when Nona and I watched the first episode together, and it was like action-packed episode with Falcon flying all over, killing people and blowing up helicopters
Killing
and all
people.
that. And we thought like, is this what is going to be the whole show, like action-packed show with Falcon flying all over and both Bucky and Falcon fighting bad people and then coming out on top? Is if that is what it's going to be, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah,
Like there were expectations. That's why I was like so skeptical. Like I don't think I want to watch this show because it was going against all the things I loved about the Winter Soldier movie. The
Hmm.
groundedness of that movie. See, I can talk about that movie for 2 hours straight. Like there are so many good things about that movie. But see, this show elevated that for me. Like I have so much respect for the Zemo character, as known as like that character now has a whole different layer altogether.
yeah.
To unpack
I like the of course the dance.
the Zemo cut. We got the
The
Zemo cut.
Zemo cut we got, that was great. But even that whole scene in Sokovia where Bucky points the gun at him, the way
Hmm.
he really accepts it again for the second time actually, and then he's sent to the raft, and that whole last scene we see Zemo again. I just
Smiling.
loved it.
Smiling at the camera.
Yeah, I just loved it. That was great.
Amazing.
But also,
Yeah.
that whole scene was so emotional, and the way he thinks, the way he was talking about, even when Bucky came, there's like, you have to kill her. There's no other way, and he's
Yeah.
like, no, we'll find another way. Like he knows, and he says, I'll not kill you. You're also super soldier, but I'll not kill you. I think that's
Hmm.
that's why he said,
See,
I've cut your name, cut my name in your book.
you can see his face and know what he's thinking. See, he being a master manipulator, when
Yeah,
he talks about Falcon and when he talks to Winter Soldier, you know what he's thinking. He is talking genuinely. He's talking from his heart what he feels. And when he says to Bucky, like, I'll not kill you, it also shows like he has respect for him, like he has already suffered a lot. It's not
yeah,
like with the other super soldiers, it's like they have unlimited power. They can do anything they want. But with this super soldier, it's like he has suffered with his power. That the power he has got, there has been a lot of suffering with it.
Yeah.
For the last 90 years he has been suffering. He doesn't deserve a death from me. Like he has got his punishment altogether. And when he accepts his death, like when Bucky is pointing at his gun at him from his right hand, not from the metal hand, again it was a subtle thing to do, and he accepts like a nod to Winter Soldier, and he expects that he'll kill him. And
Yeah.
then Bucky again, subverts his expectation and doesn't kill him, and he's so happy about it. Like he thought the last moment he you can think that moment as a test. Like it was a last
Like a
test
final
that
test,
Zemo.
yeah.
Yeah, the final
Sacrificing
test
himself.
between Zemo. Like if he kills him, if he kills me, I'm right about all super soldiers. All the super soldiers are same. If he doesn't, like he's different, and I'm right about him altogether again. Like
Yeah.
and when he doesn't kill him, it's too powerful of a scene to ignore. Like you can understand the chemistry between these two as well. Like these two come from a different end of spectrum as you can imagine, but still they have respect for each other.
Also, like his perspective is so different, and whenever he talks about like all the dialogues with Sam, would you take the serum and all
Yeah.
of that, and there has been no Captain America right after him.
Yeah.
Like the
I
power,
think
like all his dialogues about power, supremacy, and all of that. It's just great.
No, he has his
I think that
expectations
is
from
like that.
everyone. This
Yeah.
guy, he has his expectation. Like he knows about Captain America being an exception from the whole soldier genre, who are too powerful for the world, and he thinks that Steve Rogers being good, the serum made him great, and that is an exception to the his whole ideology. And then he meets Bucky, and he spends some time with the real Bucky, not the Winter Soldier. And now he has realized that this guy is making amends, and this guy has reconditioned his brain from the control of Hydra, and he's trying his best to be the best version of himself. And then he recognizes that as well. Like I'll not kill you is a subtle nod to the fact that he recognizes all the progress Bucky has made in this time.
Yeah.
है ना? So that is something like you can't put it in words. There will be no dialogues, but you will understand that. And that is
I think
something
even the
loved.
actor, what's his name?
Daniel Brühl.
Daniel
When,
Bruce, really, really good.
if you remember the Winter Soldier movie, sorry, the Civil War movie, there is a dialogue when Black Panther confronts him at the end, and he says like, "I don't want to kill them." Like
Yeah.
more powerful
More
men,
powerful people have tried. Yeah.
men than me have tried and failed. And this is something that I love about the fact that villains are too optimistic in their own ways and too naive in their own ways as well. When we talk about superhero, or when we talk about movies in general, like they're too optimistic about their plans. And here is this guy just grounded, just a special ops man, a black ops man, who just wanted to, put a bit of salt in the fire, or put a bit of kerosene in the fire. The fire is already there because of the Sokovia Accords, and he just needed to put a bit of kerosene in that. And
Yeah.
that whole scene is on a different level, and it added to this show added to the depth of Zemo's character from that movie. And I think when we see next of him, we'll see the continuation of his ideology as well. It's not like he's not a follower. He's not a follower of orders. He'll not just go blindly into the war for General Ross or whoever the mastermind behind the Black Ops team comes to be. He will be the mastermind. Some Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers, anything. He doesn't believe in the concept of superheroes and the
He'll
Avengers.
probably kill everyone. If they
He is a man of his own word.
But he's
Yeah.
man like great. Loved
Yeah.
him in the show.
Yeah.
What other character is left? John Walker. I think we pretty much
We started
covered
with-
actually. with him.
Yeah. Isaiah Bradley.
People are saying they want his show or spin-off. I'm like,
No.
what is there?
No,
to-
I think
Like,
I
I
was
think
initially,
the show
I
covered it
told you I
perfectly.
wanted.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
told you
yeah.
that I wanted to see flashback, but now I think that no, what they gave
Yeah.
us was more impactful.
I think it's
Yeah.
perfect and
No,
You
one
know,
thing I want, and that is more like, a fanboy dream, whatever. That I want, old Isaiah Bradley to interact with old Steve Rogers, like the old one that we
Ah,
saw in
so
Endgame.
there are
Yeah.
like rumors that Captain America 4 is in works. Also, Chris Evans Captain America is also in works.
Yeah. I
I don't know
was
what
listening,
that would be.
I heard that, but I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I think
it's
maybe
too
they might,
soon
make a
for us
movie
to
on
think about
him
that.
going back in time and doing all that, like putting the Infinity Stones back and meeting what's
Uh,
his name, the Red
That would
Red
be a
Skull,
drag.
whatever. Yeah, that would be a drag. So
I
I'm
think
not
we
interested in
wanted
that.
that when Endgame finished. Like, oh, I want to see what happened, but now
Yeah,
it doesn't add anything. So
See, because
yeah, that's
that
true.
that why that is, because at the end of Avengers Endgame, we were like total fanboys because of the fan service MCU did for us, and we didn't expect them to go deep or to explore other kind of things in the MCU. Now we have a trailer for Loki. Now we
yeah.
are looking towards the future. We don't want anything from the past or anything like that. Like that movie of him bringing back the stones would be good, but would be a drag.
I think the
Yeah.
way they did it Endgame, right? Visiting back to the 10 years of MCU
Mm,
and going to the past,
yeah.
and that I think that was a great
Yeah.
way. Again and again, I think that would not be great. And
Yeah. They should do that again in 10 years.
no, that'd be repetition, right? I'm sure there'll
Yeah.
be.
See,
All
Isaiah
right,
Bradley's
so
story. I
yeah,
just why I brought this character up. I wanted to talk about it. Like you see monologues of his story throughout the series. It's
yeah,
not like It's not like there is a whole episode dedicated to him. It's like subtle references and storylines. Like we first get to know a little bit about him when Bucky visits him, then Falcon again visits him, and he's now a bitter old man and all that. And then he tells his story, and we come to know about his story. Like he was in the why he was in the uh, prison for 30 years, and the contrast between him and Captain America's rescue of his people and all that. I think that was very brilliantly, spread out throughout the series. If they had put just one episode dedicated to him, I wouldn't have liked it. I like it how it is,
yeah.
what they have done
I
with
think
the
it makes
character.
again, as Varun said, right, more impactful in that sense.
Yeah,
What I
see
would,
his relation to the Falcon character was sudden, but very well,
yeah,
put.
yeah,
He suddenly knows this guy exists, but because of some similarity between these two, they click. And then
yeah,
at the end of the series, in his own way, he recognizes that Sam is something different. Like you are something different. You are special. I didn't expect any black man to pick up the shield and become Captain America, and I didn't expect the people to embrace a black Captain America as well.
yeah.
But both of those things happen, and then the ending of his story, like people will now recognize him. Now people will now see his story is a very great way to end his arc. We don't
Yeah.
need a different show, or we don't need his backstory.
Yeah, I
Initially I
think
was of the opinion like we need some flashbacks of him, of that scene, but sometimes like the monologue was okay, the
I
story
think
that
showing
spread out,
sometimes
it was
showing
okay.
less is better than showing more. I think
Yeah.
that's what happened this way. I think we love that ending, with his statue and everything, and I think that's
Yeah.
a great
It
wrap
also
up. And
reflects See, it also reflects the ongoing premise of the show that don't be stuck in the past. Embrace your future, accept your future.
yeah, accept your future,
Don't go back.
accept your past. Also,
Uh,
I think it was we were talking about with Varun, right? That whole thing about what black community has gone through, you cannot just say oh, just forget it.
Yeah,
You cannot forget it.
yeah,
You have to,
mm,
when you tell him that things have changed, you have to show him the change, and
yeah.
that's what
yeah.
that fifth episode was. In the sixth episode, he shows him the change. I think that's what makes him understands, and he's so cynical, and it's very reasonable to be cynical, what he has gone through,
Mm.
what
What
Yeah,
people,
it
Falcon
makes
did
that
for him
race
was
has gone
totally
through.
unexpected. For adding to your point, see, we were brought Isaiah Bradley as a victim of a very heinous crime that was committed against him. But it's not like just he went to his home and then he said, "Come with me, I have something to show you." He first listened to what now Isaiah Bradley thinks of him.
Yeah,
What his has he impacted him on a level that he has impacted other people and the senators and all those people. He wanted to know if he has made an impact on his mindset as well. And when he realizes that yes, now he recognizes him and he respects him, then he tells him like, I have something to give you as well. Now that I have your acceptance, now that I have your respect, I have something else to give you as well. And
Yeah.
that direction is very very good, very great, to be honest.
And I think it again, that you need to, I think, talk about and celebrate the past life. That this country has never fought for me. I think that's a powerful
Hmm.
dialogue. And
Hmm.
I think that's what like America has done. That appreciate them and put that statue there and tell people about him instead of hiding the
Mm.
fact. And I think that
Yeah.
that is a good change, a welcoming change, and it should, it's not ideal change. People should know about what happened to him and everything. People should be punished who did that and all of that, but it's a very practical change, and which the
Mm.
cynicism in not just Isaiah Bradley represents the whole generation of black people
Yeah.
who
That generation, the whole
do
generation.
they the scars will never go,
Yeah.
and the answer is not to forget about it or move on. It's to
Yeah.
accept a fact and be shown that things can change and it will become better. I think
And
that
I
was
think,
very interesting.
yeah, and also like adding to that, I mean, yeah, it is that you cannot accept the past. Like if your past was entirely hidden, like there are so many people who don't know about that past. So yeah, bringing it out, showing that they have made a memorial for him in the museum.
Did you
It's
read the
also like,
memorial of Isaiah
yeah,
Bradley?
yeah,
What
I
was written
paused
on
and I
it?
was reading. Yeah. I mean, it was
Tell
So
me,
just
tell
a
me, tell me, tell
same
me.
story.
so it's not
It was the
like
same
just that he was
story.
a soldier and it's okay and here is his statue. The whole thing was written there, like he was unknowingly
Experiment.
experimented and then put in prison for 30 years and all that, for decades. It was written decades, like he was, and there was a fake death certificate and he was removed from the society, and all that was written there, like he saved his comrades,
Mm.
and for that he was put in prison with a fake death certificate and all that. It's not like they are just embracing his identity, it's also about the
Telling the
embracing the
truth.
Accepting the
bad things that happen.
wrongdoings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
accepting the
Yeah.
wrongdoings that were done to him as well. So it's
Yeah.
there is a real aspect to it that as well. There are, like, if you know the Tuskegee experiment thing also
Mm.
about
Yeah.
the American history, they actually experimented on a lot of black people, black
Yeah.
soldiers unknowingly. They would give them adrenaline shots. They would give them different chemicals,
Use them
you
as
know.
test subject, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and there were people like the Tuskegee Airmen were, if you know about the story of those pilots. So
Mhm.
it was very in the late 90s when people came to know about the reality of that era, the Korean War and the Cold War era, the people that suffered a lot, the black people basically that suffered a lot. And it actually resonates with the real life events.
Mm.
And it was, see, this whole show actually resonates with the real life events if we talk
Yeah.
about division in the society and all those things. But talking about the American perspective, I think Varun would know a lot more because he is interacting with those people.
Not much.
But it would make a lot of sense because, see, there is a white guilt going around in America right now a lot, just because of the guilt. Now white people are going around and apologizing to all black people out of the blue, and black people don't know what it's about. Just because now the history of your ancestors is coming out, it's not about saying sorry, it's about embracing all the good and bad things that happened to a whole race, because it was because of the race thing. It's not because you are in the military you will have to suffer.
Yeah.
It's because you are black, you'll have to suffer. It was that.
Yeah.
And the show embracing that was a big change for the MCU.
Yeah.
That the policeman scene when they try to
Yeah.
search Falcon,
And that was a
it's a real
very, very
thing. It
strong
happens
scene.
in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as I said,
Uh,
like this show on a whole other level ask you, makes you think about a lot of things in society, makes you
and I
think
think
about your position in the society as well.
that's what even I said at the end of the reaction also, that it's not supposed to be an Emmy award winning show. It's not supposed to be a perfect show that we talked about for ages, but it's about the impact the show is making,
Mm,
being a superhero show and talking about something which people will not want to talk about already.
yeah.
Like people are saying, oh, the Marvel has become woke, and they are talking about this and
No,
that.
no.
Like there are people like that, so like it's a great step that Marvel took, that we as a big organization, they try to run away from these things. They don't want to create a divide among their audience, and they
Yeah.
said no, we'll do that. We'll make a story that has to be told, and definitely check out that interview. And because they talked about all of this, that how relevant the issues and why it's important to tell this story, and
Also,
in
they didn't
MCU.
just tackle the issues as a liberal person or a democratic or a republican person,
Yeah,
or a liberal or a conservative person. It was not from either point of view. It's
yeah,
not like if you are tackling police brutality, you are a liberal. It's not like that.
yeah,
Or if you are supporting the White Russell's Captain America, you are a Republican or a conservative. It's not like that. Also, it's like even if there are good people on in the conservative society as well, and there are
yeah,
bad people in the liberal society as well. It's all about that. As you know, it's if you are woke, it doesn't make you a good person. That's the motive behind the show as well. If you are black and if you know people have suffered, it doesn't make you a good person. Until and
yeah.
unless you do something about it, you are not what we say, you are not a perfect person.
Yeah,
Until
you're
and
not
unless you do
you're not
something
Captain
about this.
America. You're not the
Yeah, so
best
basically you are not Captain America.
best of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Isaiah Bradley couldn't be Captain America because he's too skeptical of the world around him.
I mean, I
Okay,
think
let's not go there.
situation was different for him. Like
Yeah.
See,
he never
why
even got a
we
chance
have
to
talked about it,
show.
why
Yeah.
he is that way, because he has suffered a lot. But Sam seeing good in people, Sam seeing good in terrorists. Like he says, don't use the word
See
terrorist or
I think
thugs.
that's the privilege, right?
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
you like if Steve Rogers was put in prison for 30 years and experimented on, would he come out and I want to fight for the country? It's
No,
it's
no.
that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
Why would he want to fight for people who doesn't even
Yeah.
know he's alive or cared about him? So I think that's a separate thing. Okay,
Yeah.
coming to I think we talked about everyone, right? We miss out anyone? Sharon Carter also we discussed. Don't care about
Yeah.
that. Okay, moving on to the future. Coming with Thunderbolts, Armor Wars. Do you think there was any connection? In Secret Invasion, there have been news about casting. That's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
interesting. What else?
I feel like a lot of these characters like Zemo and Sharon Carter and all these might show up in Secret Invasion or Captain America 4. Like that's
Yeah.
where we might see them next.
I
And
was thinking
yeah,
maybe Secret Invasion ties into Captain America 4 because, or maybe Captain America 4 maybe is Civil War 2. What,
could be,
you know,
could be,
that'd be
could be.
interesting.
Yeah,
But there's no Karen.
These like when we discussed about WandaVision, like they had a lot of open threads. Like they can and they will go from where they have left. Like White Vision is something you can't just throw out and don't care about.
People were
And
saying that memes that he just flew over and destroyed himself. That day is gone.
so in this show, there are some characters you can think of them like they have ended that story and they will not be back for a while, and it's okay. Like not seeing White Vision for 5 years would not make sense, but not seeing Zemo for the next 5 years can make sense if he has a better story to tell in Dark Avengers
yeah,
or something else.
Yeah.
So there are some people whose story can be ended here. If you don't talk about them, it's okay. If you talk about them, then the story has to be worth it. You can't take Zemo and him in Captain America Civil War 2. You have
that
to
would not make sense.
put him in Thunderbolts or in Dark Avengers. You can't put Sharon Carter in Captain Marvel 2. You have to put her in.
I think that
like,
they are smart enough.
yeah,
They're
like
smarter
you have
than
to put
us
her in Secret
to
Invasion.
decide.
Anna?
I think that guy did not die, right? Batroc. Like
I think he died. She
He
shot him,
died.
right?
Sharon killed him.
Okay, I had
I
one
think,
issue with the
okay,
show.
I feel like he has not died because his role is just that he'll come in every movie, he'll fight and he'll get like beaten up and then he'll go away. Like that has been his role since Winter Soldier. So I think they might,
I think
like
they showed a
maybe they
close
just
up of his, after they shoot and they cut to Sam, and then they show a scene of his hand lying there with his watch.
I think
just
I
not
think
moving.
because of what Varun said, like they are done with him. They don't want to bring him again and again and then beat him up again
I
and
want to
again.
talk about the killing thing. I hated the fact that Falcon. I think that I hated the fact they treated that fight scene he was just destroying the helicopters with people. And I think you have to be very cautious how you choreograph your action, that you make a point that it doesn't show that the heroes are just killing people. I think that's a big point for me. Where in a show where you make a point about another character killing someone, so I think you have to take it very seriously how you show the action. Even in Captain America movies, right? If you look back, really don't know if he killed someone or not.
Yeah.
Like
He kicked
even
them so hard that
You know,
like
in
they'll
this
go flying
finale, I was
Yeah.
talking to
pieces.
someone.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone, and someone said, like, in this finale, Sharon Carter has the highest kill count. Like,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
trying to kill everybody.
But that makes sense, right? Like she is the villain. Like
Yeah.
she is kind of become evil, so she will kill.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But when you're saying that the hero doesn't kill, then you have to be very careful about these
Yeah.
things, because you cannot say that first of all he threw one guy, he removed his parachute and he hit the wall and he fell down. One guy, you destroyed the whole helicopter. Do you think that guy survived? No,
Yeah.
of course. So
No.
and even
You know,
and even Bad Dog, what's his name?
sometimes what filmmakers will do, if they shoot somebody and it's ambiguous, we are supposed to think that they are alive. If
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
show you a body, it's like it's uncertain. It can be
That
some.
was the reason that
Yeah.
Snyder used in BVS, like one interview of BVS with like Batman. Someone asked him that he blows up that car, so he says you don't see them dying, right?
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
So like this is something that movies have done for a long time.
No,
Like, until and
but
unless it's
a
certain.
helicopter destroyed. No way someone survived
that
that.
is the
Of course,
point.
like-
That is the point I am trying to say. Until and unless it's addressed or it's confirmed, it's like ambiguous. It
Yeah.
can be or it can't be.
Yeah.
Also, Belt
Also,
Talk.
the
What was
thing
that?
comes that like with Captain America, like he's a super soldier. He can punch and kick so hard that people go flying away. So they want to show his power also, but they also don't want to show him that, because in real life that would happen. Most people would die. So that's why they
Have you
just,
seen Corridor
keep it.
Crew did that? This scene, that whole intro first scene in Captain America Civil War action scene.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did a VFX and made it R-rated. So every
Yeah.
kick, every shot is like they're killed and the head is gone and everything. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Do check that
You know,
out.
somebody was saying I actually saw it on a YouTube video. Like, that is why Captain America was different, because he used to pull his punches when fighting hand to hand, so that he doesn't kill anybody. Like,
Even Bucky was
in
doing
contrast to like White Russell's Captain America, he's not pulling his punches. He's like going all out. See,
Yeah.
we only see his one fight as super soldier when when he kills that person. So even I should not talk
That was
about the
not even a
contrast
fight.
again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Captain America, being Captain America, was not with the power, but how you control yourself with that power as well.
Yeah, I think strength. I think someone was talking about that. Steve Rogers knows what it feels like not having strength, and I think that's
Yeah.
why he was chosen, because he lacked something and he knows the value of it. If someone hasn't,
That was a dialogue in the first Captain America movie as well. Like, a weak person will know the value of the power he'll get.
yeah, I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Also, I was saying this Beltrock, what is his name, whatever. He comes in the finale like, you cost me money. I'm like people die, dude. What do you mean money? And that was so
Yeah,
stupid.
And the fight doesn't even come
That was
to an
so
end.
weird
Like, he
fight.
leaves in between.
Yeah,
Falcon
it's
just
like
leaves.
first I thought Beltrock says au revoir, which means bye, see you in French, and then I realized in the second time, oh, no, he said it.
I think
Sam said it.
even I saw that. I felt like like, why would you just leave him like that?
Yeah,
Like,
like,
at least-
he- that-
First of all,
that-
you leave him. Okay, he leaves him because the helicopter is gone, so he has to chase
Yeah.
it. Otherwise,
Yeah,
but I was
that
also
makes
thinking,
sense.
why are you even fighting him?
yeah, that fight doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's stupid. Okay, coming to future, I had one Spider-Man issue. Varun knows this. See,
Yeah.
my point is, in Far From Home, they literally mention even other characters and even Spider-Man, like call this guy, call Thor, call Doctor Strange, and they're like, he's busy and all. and then and even the other like people on TV, they're like, oh, Thor is better, he's good, and then what is his name? He says, no, Spider-Man is the best. Bully, the bully
Flash
says that.
Thompson.
Yeah. So I think like they have called out these superheroes, and if this has happened, this series happened before Far From Home, they didn't mention it, and I'm very upset. Second of all, if this is happening at the same time, you said they are in Europe, right? Even this show is happening in Europe. Then the finale happens in
some part.
America.
Yeah.
But so the whole scene of Captain America killing someone and someone else becoming Captain America, not addressed in Far From Home at all. Of course, because it didn't existed that time. But in the cinematic continuation I'm talking about, that it was not addressed there. And this show doesn't address the Peter Parker is exposed. Which is not even. I was expecting a post-credit scene, at least a post-credit scene where Bucky and Sam are sitting and suddenly they see a news. Oh shit!
There was a post-credit scene with Yelena Belova from the Black Widow movie.
Yeah.
It was supposed to come because the Black Widow movie was supposed to come before this, and then we would have got a post-credit scene with her and Zemo in the raft. And because we haven't seen the movie, Marvel actually cut it from the post-credit scene.
So it might be a second post-credit scene like in Black Widow, or it might not be. Like
Yeah.
they might use it in some future project.
So I think with Shang-Chi trailer, like we are getting so much, man. Black Widow, Loki. I think first Loki, then Black Widow, then Shang-Chi.
I wanted to make a movie. I actually have a thumbnail with me. Not a video with comparing the Mandarin from Iron Man 3 and this Mandarin. Like people are too confused. A lot of people are asking me like, what is the deal with this Mandarin? We have already seen a Mandarin. And I actually thought we should do a 3-4 minute clip with.
You have seen that, right?
The one shot, yeah.
Yeah, for the one shot. I think Varun introduced to me. I never knew there was one shots, and Varun showed me.
I saw all the one shots.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, what else are we getting? We are getting Miss Marvel
you
also.
You are forgetting Loki.
Miss Marvel,
I said Loki.
Yeah, they're saying that it's coming at the end of this year, but most likely it will get postponed to early, like January of 2022.
And She-Hulk? What about She-Hulk?
She-Hulk is 2022. This Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, we are getting this.
Supposed to come out end of this year, but even I'm not sure because shooting and all is still going on.
No,
it's
finished,
just
right?
wrapped up.
They wrapped up.
It's just wrapped up. Yeah. But
so that'd be interesting. Yeah. Oh man.
What do you think about the Loki series? Do you think every series that comes after the previous one is going to be the better series?
That's
no.
what my that's my like I don't know how they'll manage it, because of course they can't do like this that each show will become better than that at some point.
You know what I think, it's not, you cannot compare because all are different shows. It's not, you cannot compare to any regular shows. They are MCU shows, first of all. You cannot compare them to any regular show. And then they are exploring more stories in different ways. Every show will be different, so there's no comparison. Even like I am saying, I enjoyed watching Falcon and Such more than WandaVision because of the structure maybe and all of that. But other than that, every show is different, and I don't think there need to be a comparison of which is better and all of that.
See, you now we are saying now we saw the depth of the MCU. Now we will see again the kind of production value that they can put, like they did in the Avengers Endgame movie.
Yeah,
with the Loki series.
Also, I think Tom Hiddleston is a bigger actor, and the show will have, like we have seen the visuals, right? The show will have a bigger budget than that. So it will be
and it's not even like set in this timeline.
See, they have already licensed it for a second season, even before it airing.
Yeah, I think that's what that it's like in what I've understood, right? The way Marvel looks at it projects is like different franchise within itself. So Captain America franchise is different. So they they look at it differently. So Falcon and Soldier comes into that. Then this Disney Plus shows are there, but still they are, like Loki is a different franchise to them. It's very different that they can have season 2 because set it differently.
It doesn't even have to make any cohesion with any existing property.
I think it's more about setting up the plot for future of MCU with the multiverse and all of that, and still explore the character of Loki. And I think that's what the show is trying to do. And as I said, they like Iron Man franchise, Thor franchise, Guardians franchise, they take them as franchises within Marvel itself. and build up the universe and fill in the blanks, whatever we need to know. I'm pretty excited for Eternals, man. Like this, we don't know anything about that show.
So they are saying like I had heard reports that the teaser is ready to come out. They are just waiting for tonight
Oscar.
Oscars. If she wins,
Ah.
then it will be Oscar winner Chloe Zhao. Otherwise,
Ah.
whatever. But yeah,
That's
but they
interesting.
are
Yeah,
That's really good.
that is something that that we might have never seen in the MCU before. Like it is related to the cosmic MCU world, the cosmic universe, the cosmic side of the MCU.
Yeah.
yeah,
But still,
like
see,
millions of years ago.
this is something that Marvel has now achieved very professionalism. Like they will introduce characters that have lived along all the existing characters for a long time, but now they have to explain how, and it is going to be a repeatable thing with the MCU. Like they will introduce certain new characters, like Miss Marvel will be a new character and all those things, but bringing Eternals into the light, and then how they are going to bring the X-Men, and how they are going to bring, because Miss Marvel is an Inhuman, and how they are going to explain Inhumans, how are they going to explain mutants and all that,
Yeah.
will they all be a single kind of umbrella or something like that, because now they have to explain like Eternals have been here for thousands of years, but still they didn't do anything with the Avengers or with against Thanos, because
Yeah.
Thanos is of their kind, like he is from
Man,
one of their branches, and yeah.
I want a Thanos series, man.
Oh yeah,
I'd
love
be so
that.
happy if they announce it.
We just got the first closer look at the what we say Celestials in the Eternals movie, and their names as well. Like they have their own titles,
Yeah.
like the Judgment or the Judger or something like that. There are four titles, and the close-up shots were too amazing. Like I'm too excited to see the cosmic side
I'm
of the
I'm more
MCU.
excited because of the director, the cast, and the way director have talked about that. Kevin Feige was shocked when I pitched the story and what we are
Mm.
doing. It's very brave of Marvel to do what we are doing. So I'm like
Mm.
I mean,
very
yeah, it makes sense. It's
okay.
like such an indie grounded like director. Like if you see her previous films, even the recent one, they are all so they remind me of like Malayalam films or all that. Like they are that level of grounded, that level of
Like if
simple
you
and
have you seen
so
Taika Waititi movies
yeah,
Yeah.
before this
yes,
Thor
yes,
3 he did?
I've not seen.
Like
I've
if
seen
you
Jojo Rabbit, but it's post Thor
Jojo
3.
Rabbit is after the
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok, no? Because
yeah,
Yeah.
before, if you see the movies that he has directed before, and then you compare it with Thor Ragnarok, it's like you can't even imagine like that it would be
yeah,
a same director. Nothing makes
yeah.
sense. Like his movies were too different for like audience from MCU will not enjoy watching those movies.
Yeah. It's
If you are
interesting,
not
man, the way they choose their directors. Did you see this short film he posted recently about the
Oh yeah,
animal
yeah.
abuse
The rabbit one,
with
yeah,
rabbits and all animated one?
was
It's
so
really, really
good.
good.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I think they have chosen the director so well. And they know, like, even with Sam Raimi coming back and their news about Spider-Man 4, that's pretty interesting. I think
Yeah.
if he's interested, if Tobey Maguire comes on board, so that'd be fun.
I think, yeah, I feel like this is something Marvel must have seen from DC that there are like two Batmans existing right now, and people are still not that confused.
Yeah.
Like there's the Robert
Like they were
Pattinson. So they must
animated
have
one, right?
realized that they have so much of potential. That is such a beloved franchise. Why not do it
Yeah.
or whatever?
Also, with the recent, business deals within Marvel and Disney Plus, now that all the Sony movies will
Sony,
come
yeah.
to Disney
Yeah,
Plus and all of that, so that's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Also, their deal
That's
with its Netflix, so they'll drop on Netflix and then they'll be
Yeah,
coming
in
to Disney
2022,
Plus.
when the contract overs, Sony has a contract with
yeah,
Netflix right now,
Yeah.
and when it gets over in 2022 starting,
true.
and after a certain what we say buffer, they'll
Yeah.
bring all the movies on Disney Plus.
So I think I don't know if, for India what it will be. I think it
Disney
will be
Plus is
Netflix.
adding the gems to
Yeah.
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, that will. I think with Sony, I think with what happened with that this right backlash about Superman, not Superman, Spider-Man not being there and whatever happened, and then
Yeah.
Bob Iger called up and everything. I think
I
Sony
mean,
they know
Sony
it's
is still
better.
doing the same thing because you remember that trailer for what Morbius or
Oh
something. It's
my
supposed to
God,
come out this year sometime. I don't even know when it's coming out or what is happening with that, but
there was a
it showed.
It had
Yeah,
Vulture,
Vulture.
right? And
somebody
poster of
somebody
Spider-Man.
told somebody told me about Sony was what's the deal is not with the deal with Disney or Marvel. What the thing is, like if they don't develop a Spider-Man related movie for 5 years, they'll lose all the rights to Marvel.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
at
they
this
have
point of
to
time,
make
they
sure.
don't think about cohesion or they don't think about the story or a universe.
But
They just think about bringing out a new
Money.
movie every 5 years.
and that's the only thing working for them, right? It's like
No,
Unfortunately,
in
yeah.
games,
see, it
it's
has not
games,
been
it's
working for them
Spider-Man.
before Tom Holland. Na? See, until and unless Marvel interfered, this thing was not working for them. Because after they dropped the Sam Raimi universe, the two Amazing Spider-Man movies were so bad that you can't rewatch it again and again. But the Sam
There are
Raimi movies
fans.
you can.
There are fans of those films. Like people like Amazing Spider-Man 2 like the best movie.
Yeah.
There are people,
Yeah.
so I cannot judge.
I
But
can't judge
uh,
someone's personal taste, but what I'm trying to say is like Sony keeps on rebooting and then dropping their own thing again and again. Like with Venom, they had something to hold on, but now with Morbius, they were hoping to continue that Venomverse, but now because of the pandemic and all those things, now the hype for that Morbius movie is gone because someone was saying the curse of Jared Leto has now touched Sony.
what was with that Spider-Man poster and
Yeah. That
was that guy
so
from
So
Homecoming?
we were supposed to get all the answers in
Vulture.
2021, but unfortunately we have no answers right now.
I feel like a lot of those things will be removed in the final film because, like, as deals and all that are happening, and Disney is getting more control over Spider-Man and related characters. So I think, like, when the film comes out, we'll see what all is there which connects it. But I think what they were trying to do
I don't
basically
want
was
them to
to,
do the
yeah,
Ralph Boner joke there because he's not the vulture. He's a different kind of Michael Keaton altogether.
some random character who
Yeah.
is Morbius. Yeah, I think
Interesting.
no, yeah. What they were trying to do is that they were building up these villain films, and ultimately, in some
Yeah.
Spider-Man 5, 6, something, they will bring them as Sinister Six or something like that. But that's for the future. But yeah, they were. That's what they were planning to do, and
See, Kevin
yeah,
Feige told
Marvel
that
doesn't like that.
Venom
Like
would
Kevin
never
Feige
cross
doesn't
over.
like that.
Yeah, so he said Venom would not never cross over to MCU. If Sony wants a Sinister Six movie or a Venom versus Spider-Man movie, Tom Holland would jump into their universe through
Yeah.
something or the other, and they can do anything they want. But after that, he'll jump back to our universe and continue with our movies.
That'd be
That is
stupid.
the deal that they have.
Yeah.
That's
Very
stupid, man. They should not do that.
This is
I don't want them to do this movie
That's
as the Into the
true, man.
Spider-Verse movie.
Okay, talking about Spider-Man 3. No
Yeah,
Way
so
Home.
they want it to be the Spider-Verse kind of explainer in this movie because they are bringing a lot of people and they are bringing a lot of veteran actors
But
from those
creative
movies.
control is with Marvel, right?
Yeah.
On all
This is
projects,
Spider-Man 3 is purely MCU
Marvel,
film, like
it's just
pure
the
Kevin
money is
Feige.
by finances is by Sony. So they
Yeah.
spend all the money and they earn all the money from.
Make the-
Not all the there is a 60-40 partnership and
Yeah.
then the merchandising money is all with Marvel. The Marvel will have the rights to sell all the toys and earn 100% profits from
I
the
think, but
toys.
merchandising is with them, right? Sony only has this
Production
movie and
rights, yeah.
like movie rights.
Production and yeah,
Yeah, they don't
I
have
guess
Production and
merchandising rights.
distribution is with
distribution, yeah.
yeah.
Disney,
See,
man, owns
what I'm
everything.
trying to say is like if bringing all the veteran actors together, like for such kind of movie, you need a hype. They have been very secretive about this movie. Marvel has always been secretive about such kind of projects. Like for even for Avengers Endgame, the secret, everyone was sealed shut. Nobody could speak their truth. Nobody could even speak their own lines without fumbling and without realizing that they might spill the secrets or something or the else. And then I
Like only few people knew the script. That's what they
like Doc
did.
Ock's like the Doc Ock character. His the actor said that I don't care at this point of time. I have finished my film. Like I have finished my filming. I'll say whatever I want. If they want to cut my scenes, they can because he knows that they will not cut his scenes. And he's like, I have got the money, I have got the payment. If you can't want to cut my scenes, you can.
Then definitely he'll
But
be in
he
NOC,
also
right?
I mean, that's what he said all this, but he didn't
Not
also
NOC,
reveal
sorry,
anything.
NDA. Yeah.
Yeah, he did not reveal anything because when they asked that what were you saying, so he was just like, oh, I just have to, make a face like this and the CGI does all the work. So
Yeah.
he did not really reveal. We just know that, okay, he'll be in the film and he'll be having his arms. That's all we know.
See, Jamie
I
Foxx
mean,
released an image and then he deleted it about the
yeah.
Electro character. And then now, see, these kind of things can be a marketing technique or
Yeah,
for
that's
creating a
what we
hype
can say.
I think
also.
with Tom Holland, they do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
release the
They
poster, right?
ask
For
him to
that.
spill
Yeah,
the secrets in a such a way like it looks like it's a mistake. Because the first
I
first
think
time it was actually genuinely a mistake that he
Marvel,
did.
they are too smart. They're not gonna just let any actor just reveal what are they
Yeah,
doing with
that's
the
true.
project. So I
Yeah.
think
See,
it's
when we
planned.
are working with CGI and all those things, like even the actors like they don't know what they're doing. Like there
Yeah.
are certain things
Even the
that the
trailers,
directors said,
right? They cut out things from trailer we don't
yeah.
realize, and
They
You know,
add
the one
fake
actor was
things
saying
just for
like,
the trailer.
yeah,
It is. Yeah.
a fake scene just for the trailer.
You know,
you know,
the scene, do you remember the scene in Endgame teaser? I think, yeah, the teaser when,
Infinity War.
no,
when the
no,
Hulk was running in Wakanda, the Infinity War teaser.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was also, yeah, that was also there. And then in Endgame also, what they did was when I think Ant-Man is there and he asks, is anyone home? So they show Black Widow with like her old hair, like the blonde
Yeah,
hair.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she stands up and,
But
yeah,
I think
like they don't want to show that there's a time gap,
I
a
think
time jump.
before 1 month before Endgame, it was out, right? There'll be a 5 year gap,
It was
right?
speculation.
No, no,
It was not
yes,
confirmed by
rumors all that.
anyone.
Yeah, and also Thor, like when all of them are walking in their suits, Thor is just like looking normal, like
No, no, Thor
he's
is
not
not there.
that.
Thor is not there in
What
that
was
scene.
that?
Hulk was
No,
also
no.
not there in the
Hulk,
background, and
Yeah,
Thor
Hulk
was
was
also not
also
there.
not there.
he was
Yeah,
not there.
See, what I am trying to say is like people, the actors who do green screen right now, they say that they don't even know what is going to happen. Like there's a green screen all around. They are talking to people and they have to do hand gestures without knowing what those hand gestures will do. Like that director tells them to do these gesture and then face that way and do these things.
or
Even
there
the
is a stand-in sometimes.
yeah, so
Sometimes it's a
even
standing
the
person.
actor Ian McKellen from the Lord of the Rings movie
Yeah,
said
you
that
have. I was just
like
thinking
he
about that. I remembered you have only told me
you know
about it.
I saw his interview. Like he said, I used to cry on the set because I was so alone for like 15 days straight filming in front of the green screen without any actors talking back to me. I'm just saying my lines again and again, and he used to cry on the set. And I'm like, now the creative thing or the creative artist has come down to this, like they have to talk to a camera and that's it. There is no art, there is no theater
But
in the
I think
movies
it
now.
has always been that, right? They are doing it for the camera, so.
Hmm.
Okay, let's not go in that debate right now. Yeah, man, Spider-Man, Black Widow, Eternals also coming this year. Shang-Chi is coming. Shang-Chi trailer looked nice. Let's see what else we can get. And What If is coming.
I
Miss
saw your
Marvel.
reaction and discussion on the Shang-Chi trailer. I'm like, see, all those things like the Asian version of a superhero coming to Marvel. Now it's all, it's a repeated thing that Marvel is trying to do. They're trying to repeat themselves. Like they captured the black audience when they tried to do this with the Black Panther movie. It was like the first black superhero, or we have Rhodey with us for a while now from the first Iron Man movie, but they marketed it as a first black,
But
superhero.
we don't
Rhodey did
have,
not get a movie, right?
right? We don't have
He was
a
a side
star like
character.
him starring.
No,
Like,
no, but I'm trying to say it's not a bad thing. I'm just trying to say like this movie is going to be awesome, but undermining your own previous actors doesn't make sense. Like you call them Avengers in Avengers Endgame, Wong is trying to fight with all along with the Avengers, and now he's like the first Asian Avenger or something like that.
no, I don't think it's that. It's I think more. See, I think it's all about like with Black Panther also, right? Like it's about black people having their own film with their own culture represented very well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Wong,
I understand.
still Wong is
An American.
he's
Yeah,
American also, but what they are dealing with is kind of I don't
Yeah,
think
more
it exists.
mainland.
It's not even mainland. It's very fictionalized kind of a thing,
cultural
right?
phenomena. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I can
it's not
understand.
very
I can relate.
Asian culture representation what Wong is, right? It's like
Yeah.
some mystical thing and all of that. But Shang-Chi will be
Yeah.
like more of exploring the China culture and all of
See,
that. And
the teaser was great. Like when they show the an ancient war in
yeah,
China
yeah,
with people
that
using their Shang-Chi, and what they're trying to do, like Marvel, whenever they try to change things from the comics, they do it so perfectly. Like
Yeah.
in this, the 10 rings are not the 10 rings, but the 10
Bracelets.
bracelets.
Yeah.
And it makes so sense when we watch. See, as a concept, it doesn't make sense. When we watch the trailer, it makes so much sense. Like people in the Asian kung fu and all, they have been using bracelets as weapons or as a defensive technique as well.
Yeah.
You know, they have long bracelets up to their elbow, and they'll be using them to fight people. If you have seen Kung Fu Hustle, there is a character using bracelets in them
Yeah.
up to his elbow.
I have to be honest. I didn't realize that because we see Mandarin, right?
Yeah.
And he's in long hair. So I thought that's the only Mandarin scene. But then I realized, no, he's in multiple scenes, but his hair is not. So I couldn't recognize.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm racist.
Yeah, the white coat person who brings Shang-Chi back
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Wenwu. And
think
they are not
I
addressing him
watched,
as Mandarin in the trailer as well.
Yeah, I think in the subtitles it says something else.
Wenwu.
Yeah,
Wenwu,
when you.
yeah, that's
So I think
See,
I watched
I
an
loved
explainer
the
video.
I loved the fact that there is a Kung Fu Hustle poster in Shang-Chi's apartment.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed. I saw that video. Yeah, guys, I think that's it. We wrapped up the show. We wrapped up the future. Very interesting. Captain America 4. Let's see. Let us have
The
more
first thing we are
details.
getting is Loki, right? Before all that.
Yeah, I think June.
still
June.
like around 1.5 months, 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By that point of
Also-
time, I might be in my post graduation and might not have time to see all those things so rigorously like I do right now.
Yeah. But it'll be weekly, right? So you'll get time. One episode.
Yeah. I see for Marvel I'll always have time.
They were talking about releasing What If like all the episode at once. So I hope they do, because I want to see one property which is like they've released all
There was a
the
rumor
episodes.
there was a rumor that there will be another version of Spider-Man in What If
Yeah.
series.
Like Captain America, Spider-Man, or something like that, like a fusion of those two characters or something.
Dude, I don't want all of them dropped at the same time. Then how will you react? Then it become very
We
hectic.
can do short reviews, right?
Nah.
No, we want
Reaction is
one
over.
episode for What If. What If is not a cohesive series. Each episode needs its own video and its own
Yeah.
reaction and its own discussion, I think.
So I think that would be great. So I think we'll wrap up now. I think we talked almost like more than 2 hours now, closing 2 hours.
Yeah.
So guys, again, thank you. We wanted it to be a live stream, but I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier is cursed for the channel. So I'm sorry. Again, thank you for all the love and support you have been giving. Like, share, subscribe for more content, and we'll see you next time. See ya. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.